Well, friends, it only took me 2 years, but 1UZ is finally in the Cressida. And it's some fun stuff. And so much fun that today we're going to take it out. We're going to pull the 1UZ out today because it is only in right now for a test fit. Motor is somewhat together, but you can tell the front end's not together. There's no clutch flywheel setup, and the transmission technically is not assembled because I had to get the shifter extended. Plan is take it out, we'll put it on the stand, and then we'll do kind of an overview of where we're at. But before we do that, we'll go over kind of the important bits everyone asks about when you put a 1UZ in the Cressida, like booster clearance, motor mount, shifter area, so shifter location. So here it is. If you don't know, it's a 91 1UZ non-vvti out of a LS400 in a 90 Cressida. Pretty basic, but let's look at kind of some of the big ones. Let's start with the motor mounts. So there's like a Koki and a Zenki version of these. So this is a 90, so it's Koki. So I bought Koki brackets from Excessive to fit a 90, and you can see here, angles off. So I don't know what happened, and I don't feel like buying another set. So Huey is running these Whiteline motor mounts that are adjustable at the angle, so I think that's going to solve my issue instead of buying another set of brackets and buying upgraded motor mounts. So that will be that fix. Big thing on these is steering shaft clearance with headers. So you can see the steering shaft back there. Looks like you need to run a log manifold. I'll probably start with early Tundra manifolds because they're pretty thin and should be able to fit back there. So I think we're gonna be all right there. And then the other big one is brake booster clearance. So right now, I mean, it has a little, but if you look at my brackets, I can go back, I don't know, up to an inch. I kind of want to get the stud like right in the middle of the room I have left. But I need to change the booster. I know you can dent them, but if you look at it, if I dent it, push the motor back, you can't take the valve cover off. So that doesn't help anybody. So I'm gonna find, I think an old Toyota pickup one works. And the last thing, let's look at the shifter. All right, so just some parts over here. Engine mounts, we kind of looked at those earlier. Whiteline, they're labeled for fitting like a LS1 in a Commodore or a Holden or whatever they have in Australia that fits these, but Huey runs them. We know they fit in the Cressida, so you don't have to worry about the subframe angles if you end up buying the wrong ones. And Huey ran them in both his 7M and with his LS swap, so they work pretty well. We'll put the part number below. Cube short shifter, we've had that, we got a video on that. And then just kind of look at the shifter housings. Stock Mark III, so you kind of saw where that lines up as is right now. I was able to find XM housing, so they're full like cast setup, so you don't have to cut and weld it, because when I had that on my old extension had done it, they always leak right at the front where they weld them. So it's nice that it's cast. I got this super cheap from a buddy, and I just had to have my shift lever lengthened to match, so it's about 1.5 inches, and I think with how far I sit back, you know, I'm a little taller, and the shifter needing to move back and us pushing the motor back, I think it's going to be perfect for me. So maybe if you're a little shorter, you sit closer, maybe my setup will be too far, but with the adjustments on the brackets, you should get pretty close. Most of that motor is using 1UZ-Tech's engine gasket set, which has been pretty good. The only thing is it doesn't include an oil pickup gasket, so I lost a couple days there, which kind of sucks. You would think a complete gasket set would have that, but it didn't. Other than that, gasket wise, I did OEM timing belt, water pump, the ASIN kit, heat shielding, intake manifold gaskets, you know, if you're into that. Little tidbits here and there that you'll see eventually, but that's kind of it for the main motor. Other than that, you know, stock 1UZ just with a link powering it, E85 and coil on plug, so hopefully it parties hard. And we need everything we can get to keep up with Huey and his LS. So let's look at the clutch setup, and then let's split this motor and trans, get it on the stand, and keep moving. Alright, so this box is my clutch flywheel setup. But first, let's look at this. Look at some of Huey's handiwork. So I'm running a AEM E85 compatible pump. It is I don't know what it flows. It's not on the box, but this is a pump to run with the 85, so it flows enough for that. I think it's more than a wall reel 255. You know, just AM's version of E85 aftermarket pump. Huey rewired it just because he did his, so he knows his way around it. So cool stuff. He drew out the rivet, run a bolt. You know, new harness up here. I do got to get some E85 hose to connect this, but other than that, fuel setup's pretty easy. Just got to get E85 compatible hose to run underneath, and that little junction. Actually, no, just at the back. But yeah, so fuel system pretty stout, I think, for what we're doing. And then actually, if you don't know, the green 7M factory injectors are bigger than 1UZ injectors, so I'm running those. I had those cleaned, and I think I grabbed Huey's old set before he sold his motor, and so I'm running those injectors in E85. So again, I think it's pretty simple, maybe a little overkill for a junkyard motor, but you know, we're just trying to party all day, so why not? So let's look at this kit from XAT. Alright, so I got another, I bought the full adapter kit from someone, and I just felt like buying a new throttle bearing, so GM throttle bearing, just a new one. XAT supplied everything, some hardware, ARP bolts, and, you know, whatever. So, if anyone watching this knows the right Sequoia or bigger alternator part number, can you post it or let me know? I did buy the harness so I can run the bigger amperage alternator, but honestly I haven't looked at if it is just any Sequoia alternator, if there's a specific one. So if you have it, let me know. I have the harness so I can run it. Okay, so originally I'd picked like a spec clutches 2 plus 2.5. I don't remember what it was, but then XAT messaged me and said, hey, they have an in-house like stage 2-ish solution, so that's what it is. So if you have a W58, or if you don't know, they're not supposedly they're not the strongest. My W58 made noise every time since the minute I put it in, so it's handled a lot of abuse. But going behind the V8, kind of wanted to. It's tough. You got to balance. You need something that's going to hold the power, but also is not going to shock the gears and just blow it up. So XAT said they have something that's good balance for that. It's they're in-house. I think it's stage 2. So full disc, not $6. Supposed to be, you know, drivability for me, because I'm not going to drive it a lot, is whatever, but it is nice that it's going to be easy to modulate and use. So pretty standard, you know. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you what the clutch surface is or clutch material is. Fault me for that, but whatever. And then we'll take a look at their pressure plate. So just matching pressure plate to that. So if you don't know, most setups run a 3S GTE clutch and flywheel setup. So that's what, SW20 MR2 turbo. So as long as it fits that, I'm assuming it should fit. I mean, check whatever adapter you get, but since I have the XAT kit, I'm assuming this is the right one. So I'm not assuming, but they confirmed it. So. And then I am running their lightweight flywheel for this setup. I know that a lot of people in a drift car don't like running lightweight flywheels, but it doesn't make sense to me. You can read up why they like it. I just don't. The biggest thing I'm trying to avoid with this is you've all kind of seen like the big lazy V8 setups at the track, where you're just kind of like, womp, womp, and I'm not trying to build that. I want something that responds to my inputs. You know, range is so tight, you're always constantly adding throttle inputs, and you want that. I understand like it's lighter, so it's going to rev down faster, but I think that's a trade up with input reaction time, or however you want to call it. So I believe this is 11 pounds, maybe 12 pounds. I did have to wait. It was on back order, but XAT was real cool. As soon as they got them, they shipped them out, and the deadline I had for myself, they met. So that was sick. So yeah, that's it. That's it for drivetrain setup. So I'm gonna start taking this apart. Well guys, that's it for now. We're gonna get back to it. If you missed the 1UZ stuff, let me know how much you want to see. I mean, do you want to see me do all this little stuff? I gotta rebuild the starter, we're gonna run the loom, maybe we'll do the cams, all that stuff. But you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe if you aren't yet, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.